Welcome back to YCS Sydney 2019. Here with our last round of the day, round 7. We have an interesting matchup here. We have Alyx Chambers playing his Noble Knight strategy, currently undefeated, even though he has 2 draws. There's actually 60 cards in this Noble Knight deck, and a lot of interesting cards in here. But he's up against former YCS champion of 2016? 17? Michael Duke.
He's playing Sky Striker with 6 hand traps in the main, 2 impermanences as well. And he's going to get a shock when his opponent's playing 60 cards, but it is not a Rongo deck.
Well, it's similar. There's actually 3 copies of Assault, the 2 Tales of the Noble Knights in his extra deck.
Yeah, in a Noble Knight deck, where it belongs.
Well, I guess that's where it belongs. That's what it should be doing. There's also 3 copies of Shade Brigandine, 3 copies of a lot of Noble Knight monsters that I will not try to pronounce because I don't know them well enough, but we shall see.
I have here a list of standings for this round. Going into the last round, we have first place Leon De Bono. I think he's playing Sky Striker. We have Ono that we just featured. He's playing Altergeist. We have Jonah.
So Jonah. The Altergeist player?
Playing Altergeist. Yep. Fourth, you have Jesse Cotton. He's playing the Thunder Dragon deck.
All the way from Canada.
Stephen Medhurst is probably playing Sky Striker. And we got Harry Betts playing
Light Swan.
We have a Gabriel and a Kosk.
And Nathan Kosk, I think he's either on Warrior or Striker.
Anyway.
So we have Alyx Chambers rolling an 8. Duke rolling an 11. Very strong roll. So I assume Duke will want to go first.
Yep. Yeah, I think he just indicated that he wants to go first. They do both come from Sydney. Duke might know what Alyx is playing.
But I think he should still be worried.
His opening hand is Terraforming, Hercules-based Hornet Drones.
I think it's multi-roll as well.
And there's a Pot of Desires in there.
The other notable ones on here, we have Jason Ma playing Invoked, also EXO. Then we have a few people on draws but are also undefeated, including AJ Claudie and Leroy Onaha as well.
Cameron Aza that we had earlier with Prankids is 14th in Swiss.
Very strong. Repping it hard. Maybe he'd be that one Prankids that makes it all the way.
Yeah, so
a lot of notable players on there, especially Australian based. Like we got Isaac Stott, who hasn't played for a while, back in there. He's sitting at X1, really high on the resistance as well as Alex Berlamon.
We have Shane Hade that we featured earlier, 24th still.
Yeah, the Dinosaur Thunder Dragon player.
Yep.
And yeah, from then on, that's close to the top 32 so far. And obviously, there's 3 rounds tomorrow, so that's not.
Michael Duke goes for a Pot of Desires, banishing 8 spell cards and 2 monsters. Those 2 monsters, maybe 2 rays, could be hand traps. I did not catch that. He draws Twin Twisters and another spell card. Doesn't get to Ray, but he does have the Hornet Drones. Oh, that's an engage. So it wasn't a Hornet Drones, it was an engage.
So anytime you can resolve engage with 3 spells engraved on the first turn, it means you're having a really good start to this game. So
I think that is still a Hornet Drones in the stand, though. It looks like a Hornet Drones. He gets a Widow Anchor. Yeah, that makes sense. He does have Hornet Drones, otherwise he would have gone for the Ray.
I agree. Unless there's also a Rain hand, which we can't see, but I think it's all spells in his hand.
I believe it's all spells.
There's also a Hercules base and I think Area 0. He will draw, and he draws into, was that a Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries?
That is indeed a Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. And what's cool is that he actually plays this old 2 Tales of the Noble Knights in his extra deck.
So
this is going to be very
resolves that Reaper, there is 3 Assaults getting banished from the game, never to be seen again.
Oh, this is wild. This is going to be great.
This is what we want. Alyx probably not wanting that, of course.
Alyx probably not seeing it coming. It'll be good to see his reaction when it happens. Hopefully we can catch that.
So Hornet Drones will then summon. The only downside to Michael Duke's amazing hand is that he has no access to Ray.
But he made the conscious decision to not search for a Ray, but he will definitely have power plays anyway. He gets the engage back.
Because you can actually engage here, add the Ray, and then try to use the Area 0 to send the Kagari to the graveyard, and then normal summon the Ray before he makes Shizuku. So there's still a way to do it, but he was also contemplating getting the Eagle Booster to protect his Kagari, which is also fine.
And he does do that, so that is basically like having a Ray, because your Kagari is not leaving the field this turn.
And has he used Multi-Roll's effect yet?
I'm not sure.
So he could also still do the play I was mentioning, where he Area 0s the Kagari, gets it to the grave, gets another card, and then multi-rolls away the Area 0 to get Ray from deck that way as well.
Yep. So another draw. He draws another engage.
This man is a genius.
Wow.
This is how you play Sky Striker.
This is not one Alyx is wanting to see. He does shuffle his hand so that it doesn't give away Drew another engage. To be fair, I think I would have just, if I was going to use engage, I would have just used it. Maybe it gets them a little upset. maybe they might not play as well.
There's also a chance he was considering holding it, and then in the end phase, multi-roll, setting the engage that's in his grave, and then Shizuku getting another one, so next turn he gets 2 engages straight away.
Yes, that is also a line of play, but I think he wants to
Yep.
advance his game state to
Cool.
get as many Widow Anchors as he
2
can.
Widow Anchors plus a Eagle Booster, especially if he does know what Alyx is playing, he
Yeah.
would definitely be wanting as many interruptions as possible.
Oh.
Not to mention the Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries that
Yeah.
he did draw.
I hope we can get the face cam ready for when he does
Oh,
get...
and an Ash Blossom. Oh, this hand is amazing for Michael Duke.
This
See why
is-
he's a YCS champion.
Yeah, this is exactly what Sky Striker wants to do. They want to get all their cards ready. They want to be able to play next, and there's Area 0 is coming out,
He may not even use that Area 0.
setting to have 5 cards in his back row.
So he'll make the Shizuku, still get a search, so he probably added the 3rd anchor, I would imagine. Or maybe something else for next time, maybe an Afterburner, depending what he thinks he's versing or what he knows he's versing. But unless he banished the 3rd anchor off the Desires, which is also possible.
Yeah.
So he's having a look. He's looking at Afterburner. But I think that is the 3rd Widow sitting in there, or Shark Cannon even.
They are both on X02, so they both have 2 draws, no
So
losses.
4 wins, no losses, 2 draws.
It's effectively just putting them at like 5 wins, 1 loss kind of range, I believe. How far down are they? Oh,
I'm
there's
trying to think. Well, 4 wins is 12, so 14 points would be there. Very good. So there's actually a 3rd person, and it's named Beery,
Yeah.
sitting on also the same record. So they're around the 73rd, 74th, 75th range.
Yep.
So very good opening from Michael Duke here.
we see that Alyx has opened a hand of 2 monsters and 3 spells. His deck playing many Eclipse spells because it's centered around Noble Knights.
He's also drawn another spell for turn, so that takes it up to 4 spells in hand.
He's one of them being called by the grave. The other are various Eclipse spells which I cannot identify.
So do you think? I don't know Noble Knights well enough to know, but do you think he can play through 2 Widow Anchors and a Eagle Booster?
I'm pretty sure he's not going to give it that. It looks
So I
like
think
Glory of
this
the
is-
Noble Knights.
It's either that or the Round Table, if that's
No,
possible.
it's not. Can't be
That's
good.
the new one.
Is it? I cannot identify that.
Nice. Little shine going to it. It must be the one from the new set, possibly.
Is that the field spell? No, I do not. I'm very sorry.
It could be Destiny. It could be. It's not Heritage of the Chalice, is it?
Let's give that a shot. We're looking up the official database. We unfortunately cannot put that on the screen. Heritage of the Chalice. It is. Add 1 Noble Knight monster or 1 Noble Arms card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And if your Noble Knight monster equipped with the Noble Arms spell is destroyed by battle and sent to graveyard, this card's in graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. But you can only use that. You can only use 1 Heritage effect per turn and only once that turn.
And so that one was from Soul Fusion as well,
Yeah.
the new set. So that's obviously more support for Noble Knights.
I think that's Michael Duke and Alyx having a laugh over him not knowing what's happening.
So Michael Duke there, yeah, very intrigued by what's happening there.
Having a 60 card deck, he has a lot to go through, and he's trying to decide what he wants. He has a Madrout in hand, I saw. That one I know.
So what will he search here, do you think?
I'm-
Possibly, yeah, it's probably something that he knows. He's searching, I think that's the one, the Afterdoter. That's the
Yeah.
one that can destroy spell and traps.
I
Set
guess.
spell and traps.
Yep.
May as well start to try and take some things out. And obviously when the most of the Noble Knights effect, the equip spells can, when they go to grave, can equip themselves from the grave back to a Noble Knight monster on the field.
Yep.
So I think he is summoning the Madrout, I'm pretty sure.
And Madrout. Is that Madrout? Yeah, Madrout also is able. Madrout, when it has a Noble Arms equipped, it can summon a Noble Knight from his deck in defense position, and if he does, he destroys 1 equip spell he controls.
And I think that might be either
That's
Excalibur or
Caliburn,
Caliburn.
and he's equipping the Aphrodite.
So Afterdoter now will allow him to target a set spell and trap on the field and destroy it. So
I think
Michael
Excalibur
Duke-
protects it from targeting, does it?
I believe so. So therefore, he cannot activate Widow Anchor to take control of the Madrout.
Do equip spells work in the same way as continuous spells where they only have their effects on resolution? So could he have Widow Anchored on the activation or something?
Potentially. That's I'll ask Benjamin now. I saw that one afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there is a window, because just like when you can MST it before it equips.
Yep.
But would not like to answer that question without knowing 100%.
Yep. So that
So the Ash Blossom comes down, and Call by the Grave is chained to take out that Ash Blossom to let the Madrout effect resolve. So is that one letting him summon 1 to the field or
Yeah,
add 1? So
summons
summoning
1, and then he has to destroy an equip spell.
which is totally fine. Because then he can, destroy the Afterdoter and then bring it back and then use it again.
Yep. So this Noble Knight deck has a lot of synergy with each other. Let's go through the equip spell.
So he's quickly summoning the Boars as well. I think that one gives an effect that also.
Oh, Aphrodite also re-equips itself when it's when it's
I think
destroyed.
they most of the but Twin Twister is chained here by Michael Duke, and obviously he drew a lot of cards off those engages. So, and here comes the Ghost Reaper. Oh, the Reaper's come down, revealing Assault, and here goes 3 Assaults banished.
This is not what Alyx
I have
was
not
planning.
seen that. I would like to see Alex's face at this point because I don't think he is enjoying this at all.
Oh.
Michael Duke having a bit of a geese through an extra deck that he may not know what half the cards do. Alex, he's in cheerful spirits considering what's just happened to him.
He's like, well, this wasn't part of the strategy. Now he's got to, well, not part of the game 1 strategy at the very least.
I'm sure he wasn't expecting this in the first game.
Yeah.
But man, the Ghost Reaper and the Ash wasn't coming down for Michael Duke, so making full effect of all of his cards. He has like a bajillion spell cards engraved.
Noble Knight Balls on the field, right?
Yes.
So when it's equipped with equip spell, it becomes dark and its level is increased by 1, and he can reveal 3 Noble Arms from his deck and have his opponent randomly add 1 to his hand.
I believe he was about to use that effect when the Twin Twister was chained to make sure he wasn't equipped with anything anymore. But Alyx is now going for a overlay
He's going
network.
to Exceed Summon.
Have we seen an Exceed Summon yet today?
Yes, we have. We've seen the Opabenia
That is true.
and
from
Bamboozling Gossip
and the
Shadow.
Gossip Shadow and Roman So they have had a few, but I'm sure this is the first Noble Knight XYZ we've seen today.
Yeah.
Probably ever on a stream in Australia.
Yeah.
He
is going to read this Noble Knight card.
So quickly assessing Michael Duke's graveyard here, seeing that I think there's over 10 spells in there. I didn't get a correct count. So he's attaching 2 materials and waiting for a response. I think he knows that his opponent has Widow Anchor, so he's trying to force it out.
Yep. That Noble Knight is one of the newer ones, I think. Is it?
Is it Artemis the King of the Noble Knights, or is it Sacred Noble Knight? Hard to see from the names, but I think he's attaching 2 materials. I think it destroys 2 spell and traps on the field, so the Widow Anchor will be chained. And the Eagle Booster will also be chained to make the Shizuku unable to be destroyed by battle or card effect this turn. Banishing the Boars and the Madroud. Is this BLS? Blackluster Soldier? Or... No, it's another effect of another Noble Knight monster. So it either banishes 2 Noble Knights to do something. Level 5. So he's destroyed his own XYZ that was stolen. So, interestingly enough, if he can actually deal with his multi-roll somehow, Michael Duke will have no cards.
Well, I guess the element of surprise, not playing a deck that not many people know about, you have a lot of effects that they're not sure which one they should be stopping, which one they should be responding to, and that can let you have a lot of plays go through that normally wouldn't.
So he's now summoning an XYZ from his extra deck.
And what is he looking to summon?
I'm curious where this goes. So they're actually going back. So maybe, they've just realized Shizuku's making his monster lose a lot of attack points, so there's no way it could possibly attack over the Noble Knight that he took control of. I don't believe Michael Duke's forcing him to continue the attack. I think they both realized the mistake, so there's going back to the point before he had declared the attack. They're making the attack resolve, unfortunately for Alyx.
I did find that one, that it was Noble Knight each turn. He can banish 2 Noble Knight monsters from the graveyard to special summon it from his hand or graveyard. And he can only use this effect of Noble Knight each turn once per turn, and a Synchro summon or XYZ summon of a Noble Knight monster using this card cannot be negated, and your opponent cannot activate spell effects when that monster's special summon. Pretty interesting card.
I believe the card in his hand is Unexpected Die.
Yep.
Which obviously can't resolve right now because he controls monsters. So Michael Duke now resolving the end phase effect of his multi-roll, just thinking of what he wants to use since he activated a lot of Sky Striker spells this turn. I think it was 2 or 3 at least.
Yep.
So he's going for Engage and Widow Anchor. He's being nice enough to show his opponent where he's setting these cards.
Yeah. You do not actually have to. You just have to reveal the ones that you're setting, and you can set them.
Just let him know anyway. Maybe he's that confident.
Yeah.
Lots of spell cards in the grave. So Alyx taking 1100 damage from that. I think it was an accidental play. Like, I don't think either of them realized because they went through the whole play, then had to go back to the point where Shizuku was making them lose attack.
Better now than later, I guess.
So with those 3 Assaults banished from the effect of the Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries.
Yes, there are 7 rounds being played today. There will be 3 tomorrow. And this time tomorrow we shall have a YCS champion crowned, the first one of the calendar year.
I think that's a shared ride that Michael has drawn, so that's not going to do much for him right now. Michael just thinking what to do here. He's put his Shizuku in the grave. Or back to his extra deck somehow. That's an interesting play. not one I'm familiar with. So he's actually linking it away to make a Kagari, probably to target and engage. And he also has an engage set, so he's going to get a lot of cards back, even though he's on not many. Just quickly having a check to make sure he's got what target he wants.
Or whatever he has left to take.
Probably go for an
There's a Shark Cannon and Jamming Waves. I guess
probably Jamming Wave, target the Facedown, or Shark Cannon to take a monster for a link play.
Yeah, I guess you can actually summon the each star using Shark Cannon if he so wants to.
You can also use Multi-Roll's effect to send Area 0 to get a Ray and make a link 4 play. Potential Borrow Sword combo here.
I think that the cherries on Isolde was not pleasant and did spoil his plans a bit. I think he would have been in a very comfortable position if his play went through.
Yeah, and the fact that Michael opened so well with 2 Widow Wankers, Eagle Booster, like 4 sets, multi-roll up. He's in a really good position, and all of a sudden he found himself with like 1 card left after the turn. And after Reaper, use Ash Blossom, but obviously with the Engage coming back, he's able to re-establish that board, and unfortunately Alyx has used lots of his resources already. So Michael just making sure he adds the right cards here.
I don't think he has many left to add, and he's going for the Jamming Waves now.
I think he probably Jamming Waves the set and destroys the Nobunaga XYZ on the field, or he can Shark Cannon and Widow Wanker to make a Boral Sword, and then summon Ray from the deck using the Ray that he can normal summon Ray and summon a Ray.
And he's going to Jamming Waves his own set card to be able to clear off the monster, the Noble Knight.
It seems like he may not be going for the play I'm talking about then. Instead, rather just get it off the field, destroying the shared ride that he drew for turn. Thinking now he's going to chain somehow, use an effect to make a rank 5 XYZ. I think that might be the effect of the XYZ monster.
If it's destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to graveyard, you can special summon Noble Knight XYZ monster from your extra deck except itself. And if you do, attach this card from the graveyard to that monster as a material.
So that's what he's done now. Michael thinking that he can destroy it with Jamming Wave still, but the Jamming Wave actually did destroy the XYZ. I think Alyx just didn't put it in the grave and did it a bit quick, so he was a bit confused, but that's fine.
I think
there's still a Widow Wanker set that he's now chaining to take control.
So I think that's an Artorgia summon. Yeah, the one where when it's XYZ summon, you can equip up to 3 Noble Arms equip spells from his graveyard, as long as they have different names, and once per turn you can detach 1 XYZ material to destroy a number of spell and trap cards equal to the number of Noble Arms spells he controls.
So which one's the one he just summoned then, the rank 5 instead? So that's the rank 4. So which one's this rank 5?
Is that the rank? Oh, he did not summon that. He summoned a rank 5 indeed.
It's possibly the Secret Noble Knight of King Cole. That one's Torgus. Yes, so that's that one.
Oh, they have the same name, just different order. Yeah, Artorgia is King of the Noble Knights, and this one is...
One's the Sacred Noble Knight.
So it also has the effect where it equips 3 Noble Arms from the graveyard to itself, and then it can detach 1 XYZ material and target one other monster on the field to destroy that target. And if it's in the graveyard, you can target 1 level 4 or higher Noble Knight monster in your graveyard and special summon.
So Michael activating his field spell here, obviously low chance of hitting a card because he has banished a lot. But he's going to multi-roll send the XYZ that he took control of after he hit for some damage with Kagari, which I think was 2600. And then we see a Shark Cannon coming down to banish, not summon.
Yep.
So multi-roll again will have a lot of cards to reset. Probably will set and engage again, and maybe the Shark Cannon for interruption, and even maybe the Jamming Wave for next turn. He's in a very good position again. Whenever Sky Striker can resolve this many engages to draw a card, they're generally in a very good spot. Doing a quick check of his deck, though, very interesting. But he does have an Ash Blossom in hand.
Yeah, he's getting Shark Cannon back. I think he's resolving multi-roll right now. He's adding back a bunch of spells.
He's got a lot of spells to resolve. I don't know how many he actually activated that turn. I think it was 2 engages, Jamming Wave, Shark Cannon, and Widow Wanker, like just everything.
I do believe multi-roll has to set different named ones.
Correct. You can't just set like 3 Widow Wankers, for example, and be able to do it. Now, this time he's shuffling. He either learned a lesson, or maybe this time he's not being as charitable to help Alyx out. Maybe he didn't mind because he's going to activate them the next turn before. But he does have an Ash Blossom in hand once again.
Yep.
So Alyx will draw, and hopefully for his sake, it's something that can out this. But with Eagle Booster set, it makes it very difficult to clear the Kagari.
It is. I'm not sure what Alyx Chambers has to be able to play through all this.
He's attempted to activate his Unexpected Die from last turn, but it quickly gets Ash Blossom, so he sets 1. But knowing that Sky Striker don't have a lot of damage in their deck, he decided to not concede yet. Although it has been halfway through the round again, and after game, it's still game 1.
Yep. I think there are avenues where he can do near enough damage to be able to win over 2 turns, I think.
From this point with 4,300 left, I think there is a much easier line.
Yeah.
You could potentially normal summon a ray and use multi-roll to send the Ares here to get another ray, and that's enough damage on board straight away.
Yeah, Michael Duke being in a commanding position, I think he wants to just play in a way where he's not giving away any of the position, the advantage that he has. He's going to go through his materials.
Maybe advantageous to actually activate the jamming wave that he reset as well, just to clear the last card, just to make sure he's safe. But he may also think it's just an equip spell. I'm not sure. Depends.
No, he just added back.
He's adding back the jamming wave. Like, yep. So the perfect play. Gets rid of equip
Caliburn,
spell.
I believe that one.
Better to be safe than sorry.
Yep.
And he's doing, like I said, he's going to tribute the field spell to summon a ray from deck using its effect off the multi-roll.
Yep.
And he has a ray in hand, which he can normal summon, and I think that should end the game pretty quickly.
Yep.
And yep, Alyx has conceded, and we will go to a game 2. So very interesting gameplay there. So the Noble Knights, obviously, we're not super familiar with Noble Knights, but it's obviously doing really well, and Alyx obviously knows the deck really well.
Yeah, I think he's played it for a while. He played it back in 2015 as well. He just missed top cut at that Oceanics.
Wow.
Yep. So he definitely knows what he's doing, and I think he wins a lot of his matches because of that.
It's similar to when we saw Brad Brigada earlier in the day playing his ABC deck that he played for a long time.
Yeah.
Just these people that have a lot of experience with their deck, and also with Poe playing Sky Striker, just a lot of experience. Not as much as these guys with these certain decks, but it just shows that if you know your deck well enough,
and you're playing something you're comfortable with, you can probably take it further than, say, something that you're not very comfortable with that people are telling you is better. You just play something you're comfortable with. That's the key, right?
Yep. And another key, we had a Shoker on earlier who did an interview with me. He did the same thing in 2015, I believe it was. Everyone told him not to play Shadows. He played Shadows. He's the only one who topped the event with the Shadows.
Yeah.
So it's just got to play comfortable and be happy with what your deck is. And
indeed, the board is your oyster.
Side deck for anything else, I guess. So quickly to the side deck, speaking of which.
So Michael Duke plays the popular sidecar Dino Wrestler Prankatop.
Interesting choice.
Plays Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion, 2 Mind Control, 2 Enemy Controller, 2 there can only be 1, 3 Evenly Matched, and 2 Typhoon.
Now I think what Michael's sides depends on how well he understands what Alex's deck does.
I think going second, he would like to put an Evenly Matched, which is able to take out a lot of the equip spell. Put in Typhoons, might be able to stop some plays. I don't see Mind Control and Enemy Controller being too amazing because Excalibur does protect them from being targeted.
Yeah.
But he might see merit in that. Dino Wrestler Pranktops might be able to see merit because it can pick off the equip spells as well.
Yeah, and he also has Widow Anchor as well to access to take the cards anyway. So if he does have the Pranktops as the strategy, even Evenly Matched could be pretty good.
Yep, definitely.
Put them on like low cards. So looking at Alex's side deck now, he has 3 Draw Lockbird, which will most likely come in, even though he's going first, maybe not.
Maybe, there's merit in it. He's got 60 cards. Maybe he has a lot of cards to take out.
He also has, I think that's 3 Twin Twisters, which I would assume would come in, even like especially going first. You can get the multi-rolls and stuff like that in the end phase.
Yep.
Infinite Impermanence, potentially, you could see that coming in if you wanted to negate Kagaris and slow them down that way.
Yeah.
Red Reboot, probably not as common to come in against the Sky Striker strategy. But Gamma Seal's the other one. He may not do it going first, but if he does get to a game 3 and has to go second, Gamma Seal's very good. It's similar to a Denko Sector in a way, because it puts a monster in the main monster zone for Sky Striker. And does not allow them to use their spell cards.
Yep, definitely.
So we're shuffled up here for game 2. I think Alyx will want to go first, but we will see.
It is definitely in his best interest. He has to factor in the Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries will still be in play.
Well, we already saw that once, didn't we?
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting here, so maybe keep an eye on Duke's hand if he can Destiny draw the Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries.
I see an Upstart Goblin. I see a Ray, a Hornet Drones.
So no Reaper to worry about this time for Alyx, and he's summoning the Boars.
Boars.
So he's got the equip here. I think that's an Alpha Dota possibly, or an Excalibur. I think that's Alpha Dota.
Yep.
So he's going to trigger the Boars effect. I think that lets him summon one from the deck.
No, it reveals 3 Noble
Reveals
Arms.
the 3 Noble Arms cards.
So it's like Lilith that we saw last round.
Yeah, very similar effect. Also similar to the field spell for Sky Striker.
So he's choosing the new trap card, the Until Noble Arms R1 again, and the girl being Guinevere, Queen of Noble Arms.
Interesting choices. Does Boars have to be 3 different names, or can it be 3 of the same? I'm sure it has to be 3.
That's a very good question. 3 Noble Arms. No, you can just pick 3 and your opponent randomly adds 1. Maybe.
Well, he was given the one that I think restricts from targeting, and I think that's the Heritage of the the Heritage
he got the
of
trap
the
card,
Chalice.
right?
Yeah, but he's activating Heritage of the Chalice now, I believe. To search any Noble Knight card. So which one is that? Is that Dristan?
That, taking a quick look.
So I think it's the one where if he controls a Noble Knight card, he can special summon it to the field, I believe.
Custinen?
Possibly?
Yeah, that is Custinen.
Yep.
One of the newer ones.
Also, if you control an equip spell, you can special summon it, maybe.
Yep. And if it's special summon, you can normal summon a Noble Knight monster in addition to your normal summon this turn.
So he's adding Brothers to hand off the Assault's first effect.
Yep.
So you can use that for next turn. And now this is the big difference between using Assault in a Noble Knight deck and using Assault in any other Warrior deck. Is the equip spells he sends are actually useful here.
Yeah, and they all go back to his monsters. That all the XYZ monsters have an effect where they just equip them all back to his
There is an
like
XYZ
three.
that equips them all back,
Yeah.
and he's obviously this gets his choice. He gets whatever he wants.
Yeah, he's sending 4 Noble Arms instead of 1 Noble Arms that we normally see.
I think he will summon out.
That's
That's the big
Galvad,
boy. Galvahad,
I think its name was.
and he's activating the Guinevere, which allows him to add one back, and then special summoning once again, summoning the one that lets him summon if he controls an
Yeah.
equip spell.
Bolshevard, which you can target 1 Noble Knight monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand, and if you do, you destroy Noble Arm because you control.
So he's done that, and he's re-equipped it to the Assault. And then he added back the one that special summons itself by controlling a Noble Arms card. And now he's making the rank 4.
Artorius, which will equip 3 Noble Arms from his graveyard to it, and then once per turn, he can destroy a number of spell and trap cards equal to the number of Noble Arms, but that is not a spell speed 2 effect. So
Maybe we check what 3 he's equipped here, because this one's on the Assault. And then he's got, I think that's Caliburn.
yeah, Excalibur, and
So I'm pretty sure it means he can't be
Destiny.
at battle and can't be targeted by card effects potentially, and he can also do damage, I think, with one of them. Or maybe it's a different one.
Yeah.
I think he's also open to Twin Twisters, so that's very good for Alyx. So this is a much different game state to where we were the first game.
Yep.
So now
definitely.
with 14 minutes roughly left on the clock, we see Michael Duke activating an Upstart Goblin. So once again, if time becomes a factor in this game, potentially Upstart, giving Alyx the upper hand.
Yeah, so Caliburn increases the monster's attack by 500, and you gain 500 life points. That's
Which is why he's on 9,500.
yep. And
Must have used that multiple times.
and there is what else is there on the field? There is Excalibur, which prevents it from being targeted. There is Destiny, which prevents it from being destroyed by battle card effects once per turn. Very powerful. It's very hard to remove that.
So how does Sky Striker deal with this, do you think? I think that one of the issues you see with Sky Striker a lot is dealing with an Ultimate Falcon. And this is basically an Ultimate Falcon.
I believe no, Michael Duke unfortunately does not play Borrello Dragon, which has been our go-to card for removing cards that are problematic.
As we've seen a lot during the stream. So
Yes.
Michael activating his Area 0 to adding a Widow Anchor to hand. His other options weren't as great.
I'm just going to look over the trap card. The trap card's effect says excavate cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of Noble Arms equip spells you control, and if you do, you add one of them to your hand. Also, place the remaining cards on top of your deck in any order. You can banish this card from graveyard, except on turn it was sent there, to special summon from your deck one Noble Knight monster that has a different name from the cards you control or in your graveyard.
What's interesting here is he has one trap in grave, so he can use it during his opponent's turn.
Mhm.
And then he has a Twin Twister set and another trap in hand. So he'll be
Wow.
able to trigger it in his turn. So he can set this up very nicely here. Plus a sold, since he is playing Noble Knights as we've mentioned,
Yeah.
he can send another 4 equip spells next turn if he so
Yeah.
chooses.
Yeah,
So very good position here. So if Michael can't deal with this Assault, the 2000 Noble Knights, this game could end very quickly the other way.
this and we can see here that Alyx plays 2, 4, 6. He plays 2 Excalibur, 2 Destiny, 2 Aphrodita, 1 Gallatin and 1 Caliburn and 1 Clarent. He plays a lot of equip spells.
That is a non-zero amount of equip spells. So here we go, the Hiate. It's potentially correct to crash the Hiate into the Assault, to then send engage, get the raid back to the field, then summon a Kagari to be bigger than the Assault. But does After Dota give him any attack points?
No, I believe it does not. No, it makes you lose attack points if you use the destruction effect.
Which he hasn't yet, so that's fine.
I have some really interesting news for you guys. Michael Duke was halfway into writing Topological Trisbane on his deck list, but he decided that he did not need it and he crossed it out. And
Oof.
which would have been huge in clearing these boards. It would be able to banish 5 equip styles, burn for 2,500. That would have been huge.
Massive, especially with the time rules these days as well. Like if you go late into the game and you get called on time in your main phase, you think, oh, yep, that's the game. And then he just summons Topologic Trisbane, and then he burn damage and he wins.
I wonder if Michael Duke is like, hey, I should have prepared for my Noble Knight matchup.
Yeah, well, if this doesn't go the way he wants it to, he definitely better prepare next time.
Should have been a hindsight thing. It's also interesting to see that Michael Duke doesn't play any Kaijus, so it doesn't have that option to remove the monster.
He also drew the Ash Blossom for turn after the Assault resolved on the previous turn, which tends to happen a lot, as you may notice over your years.
Yeah,
Uh,
a little unfortunate. It's not what we want, but it happens, and you just have to play on.
More than it should happen.
Yeah. Well,
Michael Duke under a bit of pressure now, trying to figure out how to out this. So he's just putting a third spell engraved so he can resolve this engage to potentially draw another card.
it turns out that Michael Duke used to also play this deck, but he is not familiar with the new cards that were released recently.
Oh, so
Now I bet he wished he studied on them.
So Afterburner's coming down, so he's probably going to try and deal with the Assault and maybe destroy the equip spell that's making him not be targeted.
Yeah.
And then the Widowmaker can come down.
Maybe the Eclipse spell's hour on Isolde to play around Book of Eclipse.
Well, the problem here is that even if he destroys it with Afterburner, the equip spell that is destroyed will be able to equip itself back to the XYZ that's on the field.
Yep. Oh yeah, so I guess Trisbane would have been the easiest
Definitely
out.
the play.
And Michael Duke must be
He could
thinking
just
back to his deck
take the
list.
Assault with Widowmaker right now, and then just make Topologic Trisbane.
He must be looking at it, thinking back to the deck list and be like, should have put the Trisbane in.
Well, if he can manage to get through this and maybe win and get an interview, we'll definitely ask him about it.
Yeah.
So he's still got the Ash for next turn, so maybe that will stop him from getting blown out by the Assault the second time, but he may be trying to deal with the Assault now anyway.
Here's the multi-roll now.
So will he activate Afterburner, destroying the Assault? The Twin Twister will come down and discard that trap card as we mentioned. He's probably thinking if he wants to destroy the field spell as well, just to force it, so he is, which is not a bad play. I know that he has the chance to summon Ray if he wants to, but Michael may not want to do that because then it turns off all of his spells, otherwise he'll have to link for something else.
And he will destroy the Excalibur.
So I think Excalibur actually is the only one that doesn't have that effect that comes back, but the Alpha Dota definitely can.
Yeah. Excalibur, you can banish from the graveyard to target one Noble Knight XYZ monster you control and special summon one Noble Knight XYZ monster with a different name by using the one on your field as a material, though.
But it can't re-equip the way the other ones do.
No, it doesn't. It's nice to see that these swords all have multiple effects, and it's difficult to keep track of them, I'd imagine, as a player sitting across from it. You'd have
Very
like
true.
4 equip spells, they all have like an on-field effect, and they also have another effect, and you got to worry about, you got to play through like 8 sets of hurdles. Yeah.
It's very difficult, especially when you're not familiar with the Noble Knight archetype in itself.
Yeah.
Because the other thing now is that even though Alyx gained a lot of life points using the equip spells last turn, the Arte direct attack puts them on even life points.
Yep.
So again, we're getting down to the low end of time, so there's just under 9 minutes left.
Yep.
Shizuku coming down. Michael will set another 2 face down spells, and he has an Ash Blossom in hand.
Regards to Noble Knights, I did watch a a player interview from Milan where Aaron Ray was playing that deck, and I found that that deck profile fairly informative, and it did give me some insight to the deck. And shout outs to him for giving me a bit of a heads up to this matchup.
Always love the Aaron Ray from good old England.
Yep.
Is there anything different in his deck to the one Alyx is playing that you know of, or very similar?
I suppose the standard deck does not play 60 cards, but I like to think that Alyx knows what he's doing, and he's...
Oh, well, less chance to draw the equips he doesn't want, I guess. So, still, I think Alyx in a really good position here. He's still got that XYZ that can't be targeted. He's now activating the trap card during the end phase after the Shizuku resolves, and the Ash Blossom comes down now, which is correct because he's dealt with the Assault.
It's also good to note that I don't think either of these players want to go into X03, so they do want to sort out a winner immediately.
Yeah, and now taking in the standby phase really quickly there, the XYZ, since it now can be targeted. He still gains 500 life points.
And I think Michael Duke's looking to close out this game as soon as he can.
So let's see what Alyx can do during his turn. So he's going to use Alpha Dota to destroy the face down, which he will chain, I guess, but he can't because he now controls a monster.
Yep. Cannon.
So now that XYZ on... notable that the XYZ now on Michael Duke's field loses attack points for the Alpha Dota.
Yeah.
And he's going to use the trap card again to summon a Noble Knight from... Is it Grave or deck?
From his deck.
Yep.
With a different name to the ones that are in his graveyard.
So interesting. Oh, he's got Madrout.
Yeah, he's got Madrout, which is one of the more powerful ones, indeed.
And very interesting that he also drew the Drawn Lockbird for turn after his opponent resolved engage multiple times.
I guess if you tally it up, they're even on that case.
Exactly.
He has another Excalibur.
Excalibur comes back down onto the field, which will be able to let the Madrout activate its effect.
I think he's going to summon Boars. I believe that's the mini combo or engine, whatever you
Whatever
would
Noble Knights like to call it.
Yeah, that's a synergy. We'll call it that.
That's a good word.
Yeah, the whole deck is just synergistic.
So the only downside right now is that there's Shizuku on the field making all of his monsters lose a lot of attack.
No, that is...
he's going for the level 5 again.
That's the one that special summons itself from the graveyard or the hand, right?
Yes, but he's decided to get it out of the deck that way. So he may be linking for a sold and then
Yeah.
be able to summon itself back.
I know he's going.
Oh, Madrat must gain levels.
Yeah, Madrat does gain a level, becomes a dark as well, and he's summoning that one again.
That's the big one. The
Autorgia.
Sacred Noble Knight.
That's the one.
So he's going to equip up to 3, or does it have to be 3?
He chooses 3.
But he has no space.
We will get confirmation soon.
So he went to do it, then realized he probably couldn't. But now he's using the effect to destroy
No,
one
you
card on
can
the field.
target up to 3. Wow.
So he decided not to do it, which is interesting. But he destroys the Shizuku, which triggers the Ray to return to the field. So we're down to 5.5 minutes to go now. So if Alyx wants to get a game 3 out of this, instead of another draw for these two players, he may have to try and finish this really quickly.
Yeah.
Or Michael may decide that it's an unwinnable game, and he might want to go to game 3.
He does have the case of Hayate, because that
Yeah.
monster can attack directly for 1500. But on the other hand, Alex Chambers has Caliburn, which has increases life points.
So it's back, which
So
way do you
it's
want to
a-
risk it? Like,
yeah.
is Michael thinking about this right now?
Yeah.
Or is he still going, damn, I wish I was playing Trop Electric Trisbaner,
Well, he's clearing his whole field to link summon,
making
Well-
the Assault.
and I think at some point, like these,
Notable that he hasn't used his normal summon at all.
I've lost track at this point.
He also, there's actually an Exciton Knight in his extra deck. Not that it comes up right now, but very interesting that if this does get to a game 3 within any time, that if he can resolve that effect, like he could Kaiju and then resolve Exciton Knight and just leave his opponent on nothing.
His extra deck's actually really interesting. He plays Summon Sorceress, he plays Topological Bomber Dragon, he plays Exeter Knight, plays Carbonola Warrior, and Invoked Raijin with his Instant Fusion set.
I think the big one that I'm looking at now in his extra deck is the Boral Sword Dragon.
Ooh,
And he
that
can
is
still use a normal summon, and Assault hasn't used its effect. And this one also gives him a monster back to hand, which can special summon itself if there's an equip spell on the field.
How
So
did-
there's a lot of monsters coming up here.
How did you know that?
Know what?
What that card does?
Which one?
The one that you said just,
He used it before.
alright.
Unless this is not the right one, in which case he's not adding it back. I think I may be wrong anyway.
I like
he's
this.
showing 3 equip
yeah.
spells.
I really do love the speed that Alex is going through his plays. He knows he's read every single essay on his card and he knows what they all do.
Yep, and thankfully for Michael's sake, he also has played the deck, so he knows what most of the cards do as
Yeah.
well. It's a bit of a conceited look on Michael's face. He's getting a bit impatient, tapping the table there with just over 3.5 minutes left on the clock.
He's behind by 500 life points, but all it takes is one Hayate attack to close out the gap.
Yeah, but another draw on Lockbird, drawn by Alyx there.
Maybe he is going for the Borrow Sword play.
Yeah, so I believe the monster he just used then puts back 3 equip spells
Yep.
and lets him draw a card.
Very powerful. It's like a Zodiac.
The combo, the
yeah,
trap card.
Zodiac combo.
So he's sending 4 with Assault.
Yep.
He's thinking now.
Thinking,
So with just over 3 minutes to go, he might want to make sure he thinks this a bit quicker,
Yeah.
so he actually can get a chance here. Because the longer this takes to close out, the
Yeah.
less chance they have of another
Yeah.
game. And like you had mentioned, having another draw does not help either of these players continue. It basically makes them at I think X2 same
Yeah.
record.
I think Alex definitely does not want to. I think he wants to make a gap in their life points to be more than what Hayate can deal, because
Correct.
Hayate is the quickest way of doing damage, especially with the Borrow Sword, which can't be destroyed by battle.
And if he can do a Boral Sword play right now, he can definitely do enough damage here, because it'll be 3,000 over the Noble Knight, and then he can switch any of his monsters he leaves in attack mode to defense.
Yep.
And then even if he uses Ray to not, it will also pretty much force him to not use Ray's effect, because if he does, it would take a lot more damage.
Yep. Alex Chambers is making sure all his plays are precise. He wants to figure this out very carefully, very thoroughly, make sure he hasn't missed anything.
And unfortunately, this means that it's now at an unlikely stage that we will get a Game 3 result.
Yeah, maybe there's a stage where Michael Duke just accepts he can't win, tries to go for a Hayate, game 3.
But it might have to be quick.
Ah.
He's probably contemplating it now. He's looking at the
Think,
game state.
Alex is counting on his 2 hands.
Probably just adding up real quick if he can win this turn. So Michael again reading a card. I think this is one of the newer ones, so he's just making sure what it does. Getting to high pressure stakes now. 2 very experienced players.
Yep.
So here comes an overlay. So and we're just being told now that there's been an issue for slow playing. So obviously so close to time he wasn't making an actual play. So the judges have deemed it that he was not attempting to advance the game state. So he's just been given a quick warning.
I
which is
do
fine.
believe slow play warnings come with a 3-minute time extension, which might be in favor of Michael
This is
Duke.
very true.
But Uh,
So he shuffled it back.
Yep.
Which is interesting. So the Borosword play may be different now. He's now using the equips, or telling him which equips are on which monsters.
so yeah.
So he's
So
summoning
whatever.
a token.
Yep. So whatever time there is on the field, we got to add 3 minutes to it, right?
I believe so, unless we can get corrected otherwise. I
Yep.
believe that will be 3 minutes added on, which we'll keep on a timer
Yep.
to keep you updated, unless that's also on the updated for us.
Yeah. We'll see Alyx turboing through his plays now.
So it has been added onto the time for us, as you can see on the screen. The 3 minute extension.
Hey, he might need the entire 3 minutes.
Well, he's now going to destroy the Kagari, so there will be no Ray coming back because he's already used it this turn. I'm not sure how much attack the token has, because I know he summoned it off that level 4 monster, but the life points will be updated really soon. But this may be close to 8,000 damage.
And Michael Duke needs to find a way to be able to take care of the cards on the field and like close out the
Yeah,
life point gap.
Shaking his head there, looking at the life points.
Maybe if he concedes.
He is conceding now, so we may have enough time. So with that time extension now, like if not, it would be literally 14 seconds left in the round.
I believe he is going to have the he knows that Alyx Chambers has Caliburn to gain 500 life points to be able to.
So does he have it? He has the Typhoon, I believe. So
Yes,
he
he
can actually
does.
stop the Helen from doing that if he would like to. But the problem is it may. I think it's the one that can it re-equip itself, or is that the one that cannot re-equip itself?
That one I believe it does.
So
Caliburn. I'm gonna go back to look it up. Caliburn. Yes, it gains 500 life points, and if this face-up card is destroyed, he can target one warrior-type noble knight monster he controls and equip it to it, and he can only use that once per turn.
interesting. So you'll see the players here rapidly side decking, so they have as much time as possible to play a game 3.
I think there's a huge dynamic whether you want to go first or second. If you
Oof.
go, it really depends when time gets called, because if you have 2 battle phases, then you have 2 chances at using high Arte to attack, whereas
Especially with Hiarte.
yeah, if you only have 1 battle phase, you only have 1 attempt to be able to use high Arte, and if he has a
So-
way to stop it,
So in your opinion, should Michael be choosing first or second right now?
I think he wants to go first and end his turn immediately, so because then
set up
time will
really
get called.
quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
time will get called on Alex's turn, and then Michael will be able to have 2 turns to try and battle phase. But then I don't know if this is going through their
there's
mind.
no turns in time. The game just ends.
Oh yeah, this is not this is not top cut.
Yeah,
Alright.
this is round 7. So literally, if he goes first and
Oh,
Alex
right.
gets the only turn to attack. So in that
No.
case, does Alex think about this as well? And does he side the Kaijus just in case he gets forced to go first here?
Oh man, there are so
It's-
many things going on. I believe the interview will be really good,
Ooh,
seeing what they're thinking.
Worth trying to get both of them in here.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can fit.
Yeah.
Maybe we go outside. Either way. So here we go. With 1 minute 30, 90 seconds on the clock. Pressure, hot cooker. Here we go. Alyx Chambers versus Michael Duke.
I don't think Michael Duke can let Alex go first because Excalibur exists, right?
It's too hard.
very
like,
tough.
And if not, he can make that monster untargetable. Or he
Yeah.
could just like gain life points, play out the turn, and that's the end of the game.
Yeah.
So we see
Oh,
a trap. Draw and Lockbird and Call by the Grave in Alex's hand.
maybe
So
Michael's
what did
turn.
Michael do?
Michael has multi-roll Ray,
And he has chosen to go first by the looks of it. So he can do the multi-roll Ray play where
Eagle
he
Booster.
tributes it. So
That's
field
area
spell.
0.
Like you said, if he takes too long here, I don't think he's going to get a turn to attack.
Oh, he gets engaged, but Droll and Lockbird will come down.
Roll and Lock will end that really quickly.
There is still
Michael not happy with that. 50 seconds on the clock. Could
Ma-
they still draw?
maybe Michael Duke just accepts he can't play through this. He can
Does
maybe
he,
goes
does,
for the.
does he summon a Link in attack mode? Because if he takes any damage, he's just he doesn't know what to do.
He's
but-
sending the.
Imagine if he had like a Baguska or something in his extra deck. So he could like summon array, normal summon array, overlay for Baguska.
Can confirm that Michael Duke does not play Gaga Cowboy in his extra deck,
Or the
so
better
he
one.
cannot deal damage. He does not have a way to deal effect damage.
20 seconds on the clock. So if Alyx has a way to get to Caliburn, he will win by
Ah.
gaining life points.
There is 10 seconds left on the clock.
So Alyx will not get a battle phase. He will not get an end phase. This will probably end in a draw because Shizuku will resolve its effect. There's 2 seconds. That's the game. I think they're gonna have to have a draw.
Draw phase.
Unless they're letting Alyx. So
Yeah.
he's technically his draw phase. So
Yeah,
he technically isn't in the main phase. So they're probably just confirming with the judge now. And Michael's not happy. The hand gestures there. Not sure how
But
they're
Shizuku
looking.
He did not use Shizuku's
He
effect.
didn't want to because of time. I think he just ran out and realized he's also got drolled, so he can't activate Shizuku's effect.
Well, why is there a main phase
Or
though?
maybe they've said something here because Michael asked.
Ah.
So he's normal summoned and then activated everything. The time could also have been a bit out with the extension. I'm not 100%. This could I'm sure that they're in time now, so I'm sure this is
Yeah.
the last phase of the game. So Assault comes down. Potentially activating effect. There is a Widow Anchor set, I'm pretty sure.
They're in final phase. I thought time from the stream the time was called during the draw phase, but
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
maybe
we'll hopefully get that confirmed shortly. But so we've been confirmed now that it is the final phase of the game. So, but the timer may have been slightly out on the screen.
Yep.
So therefore, Alyx must have gone to the main phase. So he's activating Assault to send 5 equip spells, and then he gets Widow Anchored in response. I think that's Michael Duke's only interruption. So now all Alyx has to do is find a way to get to a Caliburn, otherwise this game will be another draw for both players.
His ult has 1600 attack, correct?
Correct, but he can't go to the battle phase.
Oh, true. This might just end in a draw.
Yep, he's looking at it, he's thinking about it, he doesn't seem to be doing anything, and neither player wants to shake hands for a draw, but unfortunately that's it.
It's an unfortunate result. I guess we'll get them both interviewed.
We might. Yeah, so we'll probably try and get them both interviewed. Like, obviously, it's a frustrating game for both players because now they've both got 3 draws. They're undefeated at the YCS.
Technically.
So, yeah, they're undefeated at the YCS with 3 draws. That's not often. And Noble Knights, again, like, showing that what they can do.
Yeah.
Would have been very interesting to play that game out if we could have.
Yeah, definitely. No, I don't think it was an outcome that both of them desired. I think they both wanted to have a winner. They both wanted to be in a position where they could afford to take the draw or a loss at a later stage in time, but they had to take it now.
With 3 rounds left to go tomorrow, like they literally have to win out.
I think they do. It's going to be very competitive. I wish the best for both of them. I know they both know what they're doing. They'll both be fine in terms of playing, and it just depends on their matchups, how well they play, how well they draw.
They showed just then how well they know their decks and what they were doing.
Yeah.
Like again, the frustration showed a bit there with not being able to get a result in such a close game. But the time extension obviously changed that slightly because they were in game 2 when that happened, and that could have just been ended in a draw anyway.
It gave them a glimmer of hope that a different result might have happened. There was like the whole dynamic of high Arte and Caliburn. It was like one versus the other.
Underestimating the side deck. It takes a bit longer, and then you only get 90 seconds to play out a turn, and unfortunately Sky Striker have a lot of dimensions they can go through.
And that was the last round of today, so players will be able to go home now. They'll be able to have some decent sleep, and then
come back tomorrow nice and energized. 3 rounds, then top cut. So we'll hopefully go over to an interview now, and we'll be back with you shortly.
Yep.
Match with the most recent feature match of round 7, last one of the day. We have Alyx Chambers, the Noble Knight Man, and
Hello.
Michael Duke, the reigning champ from 2017, I believe it was.
2017.
So how did you guys find that match? Like, I know it was enjoyable for us, but how did you guys find it? Obviously, a third draw each isn't ideal. But
Yeah, but it was a good match. So I'm glad it was back and forth and not like just a blowout either way.
then
Yeah, I was incredibly scared for the entire match. I was like, I knew the old cards, but not the new cards. I was
I was
like,
about to say, how'd you feel when you noticed it was Noble Knights? Like, I know you drew the Reaper game 1, but then what were you thinking after that when you almost lost all of your cards?
I was like, this deck is scary.
So
He's doing things. What's going on?
So obviously both of you sitting at undefeated, but with 3 draws. Not ideal, but still obviously in it. It's the same record as being X2.
X2,
which
yeah.
is like still obviously can make it. 3 rounds tomorrow. Obviously you don't want any more draws.
I don't want any more Sky Strikers.
Oh, how many of you versed so far?
4?
Oh, so how many Noble Knights
4.
have you versed so far? Be a lot, yeah.
1.
Just the 1. That's weird, but yeah, with the breakdown it probably makes sense.
There's 8 apparently here.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there's also only 17 prank kids, but one of them's still going.
That
So-
my friend has dropped out. Yeah.
He's doing very well. But apart from that, so how are you finding the event so far? Like, what decks did you expect to go up there? Did the ones that are up there, were you expecting them to be the ones that are at the top?
I was expecting a lot of Sky Strikers, but I've been talking to people who've like been versing Thunder Dragons and Altergeist. I'd rather
Yeah.
those matchups, to be honest.
Well, with the
But
breakdown, those top 3 decks are actually very evenly represented. Striker obviously the most, then Altergeist and Thunder Dragon under that, but they were all very much the same. So it was good and interesting to see that the 3 decks were represented almost equally.
Yeah.
What about yourself? Are you happy with your matchup so far? Are you happy with like?
I was hoping for a lot more Sky Strikers.
The
Like,
mirror match?
yeah, the mirror match. It's geared mostly for the mirror match and I guess like a bit of Thunder Dragons, but not Noble Knights and like all these other decks that I've had to verse. Only one Sky Striker match I've had so far.
It does happen at a YCS a lot where you see those other matchups. So by tomorrow, about this time, be the end of the tournament. But before that will be top 32. What deck do you think will be the most represented? Do you think Sky Striker will still be up there?
still
or
Sky Striker, yeah.
Still the most represented deck?
Definitely.
Yeah. Could also be that with Thunder Dragon, all those sort of decks as well. Maybe even Noble Knights get in there. Who knows?
I'll try my best.
Well, so on that basis, what deck's winning the event, in your opinion?
Probably still Sky Striker. Maybe like would hate, but like maybe an FTK would still win as well.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I think either Sky Strike or Thunder Dragons.
Thunder Dragons as well. That matchup's pretty even sometimes. Well, it depends who opens what and which way it goes. So
Wish I had some Thunder Dragon matchups today.
yeah, that would be pretty good. So just a random question: like, out of all the formats you've played, you've obviously played for a while each now. What's your favorite format that you've played in, or even one you haven't played in that you would have wanted to?
I did like the Duelist Alliance format with like the shuttles, the
The early days.
Teleknights, Clearforts, that sort of thing.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Like it was a variety of like a bunch of strong decks that were all sort of even with each other.
Yeah, it's like a triangle format
Yeah,
essentially. I
yeah.
remember playing the YCS here a few years ago, playing
Yeah.
that format. It was very even. Like all the decks could kind of beat each other, but you
Yeah.
had to counter the ones they weren't good against.
And then like
so
hat format was good as well, like that.
just before the
Yeah.
Duelist Alliance release.
Yeah, decks that like had a lot of like it's like formats that had like a lot of decks in them.
So similar to this one.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty good.
What
Actually.
about yourself, Michael?
Probably my favorite format was 2014 Fire Fist and Mermail format. Like,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Just before like what is it? The Mythic Rulers stuff started
So
coming
before
out.
Soul
like,
Charge and stuff started
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
things.
Before that, yeah. So like that, like 3-month period, pretty much. And other than that, probably the Duelist Alliance format. Like, I think those two are kind of like
yeah,
my
it's pretty
favorite.
much the start of a new era when Duelist Alliance was released as well, to be honest. So one final question. It's a bit of a random one. So with the 3v3 coming up in Atlanta, as you're probably aware, where you have teams of 3, if you're going to compete in that event or a 3v3 event and you had to pick 2 partners, which 2 characters from an anime series of Yu-Gi-Oh would you decide and who would it be and why?
That's a tough one. Mike, want to go first?
I don't know. Probably Yusei and Kaiba.
Why is that?
I was thinking you say too.
I don't know. Kaiba has like all the broken cards like in his deck. Like you'll find so many of his cards that he uses are just on the ban list, like Chaos Emperor Dragon or
Of course,
Kill the
yeah.
Errata and all
Notable
that.
cards.
Yeah,
Part of
yeah.
Demise, like all the
Yeah,
good
exactly.
cards.
All that. What is it? Heavy Storm. Oh, everyone used Pot of Greed.
Yeah, the
all
best
that.
card.
Crush Card Virus when it was banned. And you say, I don't know, Synchro Spam. Why not?
There you go.
he's
Make
cool.
a Quasar, win the game.
Yeah.
Alright, what
You
about
gotta take
yourself?
the King of Games on your team as well.
Or he can draw any card he wants, right?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
anyway, thanks for that,
He seems
guys.
like a good partner.
I hope you enjoyed the feature match. Hopefully you guys can do well tomorrow and we can see you again towards the end of the
Thank
event. No more draws, please. For
We'll
both of
try.
your sake. But anyway, but yeah, thanks for that. We'll be back with more interviews shortly. Thanks for watching all of our rounds. To keep in touch, we're going to do a few more interviews and run through. So keep enjoying the stream and we'll let you know when it's over. Thanks again.